Remember those carefree days as a kid, sitting beside your family in the car, enjoying the ride without a care in the world, the peace and freedom of just taking in the scenery while someone else handled the driving. It was blissful, wasn't it? Now, imagine getting that same sense of relaxation back, but with a twist, your car drives itself. It's not exactly new, we've all heard of this concept. But what's really interesting is that the automotive industry is gearing up for a major showdown over self-driving technology. Top car makers are racing to revolutionize the way we travel. So, if you want to stay ahead in this high-tech race, it's good to know what's coming. So, come let's dive into the coming war over self-driving cars. Chapter 1. What exactly is a self-driving car? A self-driving car, also known as an autonomous vehicle, is a vehicle capable of sensing its environment and operating without human involvement. These cars rely on sensors, cameras, radar, artificial intelligence, and advanced software to navigate the roads, avoiding pedestrians, obstacles, and other vehicles. Basically, they do everything we wish we could do while driving without the stress. But while these cars sound like the ultimate dream, for those of us who loathe parallel parking, traffic jams, or let's be honest, turning left at busy intersections, they're stirring up something much bigger than just convenience. A war is coming, and it's going to change everything. Chapter 2. The technology driving the future. Before we dive into the conflict, let's talk about the tech behind these futuristic machines. Self-driving cars rely on a blend of advanced technologies to navigate the world around them. First, light detection and ranging acts as the car's eyes, using light pulses to create detailed 3D maps of its environment. Radar extends the car's vision, detecting distant objects like vehicles in the adjacent lane or pedestrians crossing the street. Cameras function as the car's actual vision system, capturing images that the onboard software analyzes. Meanwhile, AI and machine learning provide the brainpower, enabling the vehicle to make complex decisions, from stopping and turning to the occasional honking. Because even robots have their moments of frustration, right? The output of these technologies is categorized into different levels of autonomy. Chapter 3. What are the levels of autonomy? Level 0 represents the classic hands-on driving experience. Your grandpa's car with no automation at all. Moving up to level 1, we get basic assistance like cruise control or lane keeping. You're still in charge, but the car lends a hand. Level 2 introduces partial automation, where cars, like Tesla's current models, can manage some driving tasks. But you must remain vigilant and ready to intervene at any moment. Level 3 brings conditional automation, allowing the car to drive itself in specific scenarios, such as highway cruising, but you need to be prepared to take control if needed. BMW's 7 Series exemplifies this level. Level 4 offers high automation, where the vehicle can handle most driving conditions independently, though it still has a steering wheel and pedals just in case. Finally, Level 5 represents full automation. There's no need for a steering wheel or pedals. At this stage, you could kick back, fall asleep, or binge watch your favorite shows while the car manages everything. Right now, most companies are somewhere between Level 2 and Level 4. Level 5 is the holy grail, but we're not there yet, not even close. The real contention lies in the race to achieve true autonomy. Some companies are pushing aggressively toward a future with no human intervention, while others insist that human touch will always be essential. The stakes are high, with tech giants, traditional automakers, and governments all vying for dominance in this transformative field. So, who's going to win? Let's break it down. Chapter 4. Apple, Google, and Tesla. When you think of self-driving cars, Tesla is likely the first name that comes to mind. And it's no wonder Elon Musk has been making bold promises about Tesla's full self-driving capabilities for years, often declaring that the technology is just around the corner. Despite these frequent assurances, the moment when we can actually kick back and take a nap on the freeway remains perpetually right around the corner, as it has been since 2016. Nonetheless, Musk continues to invest heavily in this vision, aiming to revolutionize our daily commutes. Apple, once a secretive player in the self-driving arena with its Project Titan, has decided to pivot. Instead of developing its own autonomous vehicles, Apple has shifted focus to creating technology that can be licensed to other car manufacturers. This strategic retreat allows Apple to stay influential in the industry without the massive risk of building a car from scratch. On the other hand, Google's Waymo has quietly made significant strides in the self-driving world. With its fleet of autonomous taxis operating in cities like San Francisco and Phoenix, Waymo demonstrates a different approach. Instead of just envisioning a future without steering wheels, it's actively making it a reality. Google's strategy emphasizes that they aim to be the brains behind autonomous technology, even if they're not always the ones steering the wheel. These tech giants are laser-focused on being the brains behind the cars, but they face stiff competition from traditional automakers. Chapter 5. BMW, Ford, Mercedes, and more. These car companies have been around for more than a century, and they're not just going to sit back and let tech firms steal the show. BMW and Mercedes have already introduced cars with Level 3 autonomy, where the car can drive itself under certain conditions, but the driver still needs to be ready to take over. It's a bit like being given the keys to a Ferrari, but only being allowed to drive it in a parking lot. Sure, it's impressive, but it's not quite the high-speed freedom we were promised. Nevertheless, it's a significant step forward. Ford, on the other hand, has moderated its expectations. Their autonomous vehicles are designed to operate without constant human intervention within specific, controlled areas. Yet, the complexity of navigating every possible road scenario remains a challenge, keeping their full self-driving dreams at bay for now. The real excitement is the collision course between these tech innovators and traditional automakers. As these two forces, each with their own approach and objectives, clash, the future of self-driving technology is bound to get interesting, and potentially quite chaotic. But what's the real war about? It's about control. Not just control over the steering wheel, but control over the future of transportation, and by extension, trillions of dollars in revenue. Let's look at the battlegrounds. Chapter 6. Who owns the data? Autonomous cars are data-generating machines. Every mile they drive, every pedestrian they avoid, every traffic light they recognize, all of this creates data. And data is the new gold. Companies like Tesla, Waymo, and others aren't just building cars. They're building vast networks of data that will shape the future of AI-driven transportation. So, who gets to own and monetize this data? Will it be Tesla, with its eager fan base testing the self-driving features on real roads? Or Waymo, which has quietly been perfecting its systems for over a decade? Or maybe BMW, whose cars already collect mountains of data for their advanced systems? The battle over who gets the data is critical because whoever controls it will lead the industry. Chapter 7. Safety and Liability. Next, one of the most important questions about self-driving cars is also one of the trickiest. Who's responsible when something goes wrong? When your autonomous car swerves to avoid a dog but hits a mailbox. Is that your fault or the car's? And if it's the car's fault, is it the manufacturer's responsibility or the software developers? Right now, there's a lot of finger pointing, and no one wants to be the one paying out for accidents. This issue is a legal landmine, and it's going to take some major court battles to figure it out. Chapter 8. Will people be left in the dust? More than all these, the job role is an important question. The idea of a world filled with self-driving cars sounds amazing. Unless you drive for a living. Truck drivers, taxi drivers, delivery workers, millions of people rely on driving as their livelihood. The rise of autonomous vehicles could put these jobs at risk. But it's not just drivers. Mechanics, insurance agents, and even traffic police could see their roles change. After all, a self-driving car doesn't get a speeding ticket, and its onboard computer can diagnose problems before they become major issues. This is going to lead to a lot of pushbacks from industries trying to protect their workforce. Chapter 9. The risks we're not talking about. Even if all these questions are answered, the risk doesn't disappear. Self-driving cars are heavily dependent on intricate software systems, making them vulnerable to hacking. If a malicious actor gains access, they could potentially manipulate critical functions like navigation or braking. Such a breach could have severe consequences, putting both passengers and other road users at risk. As self-driving technology advances, ensuring robust cybersecurity measures becomes increasingly vital. The industry must prioritize protecting these vehicles from cyber threats to prevent potentially catastrophic outcomes. Also, self-driving cars face complex ethical decisions that could involve life or death situations. For example, a car might need to choose between hitting a pedestrian or swerving into oncoming traffic. The programming behind these decisions raises questions about who decides the moral guidelines and how such choices are made. As autonomous vehicles become more common, addressing these ethical challenges will be crucial to ensure that the technology aligns with societal values and expectations. It's a chilling thought and one that needs careful consideration. Chapter 10. What does the future look like? So, where does this all leave us? The war over self-driving cars is only just beginning, and it's going to reshape not just how we travel, but also how our cities are designed, how our jobs evolve, and even how we live our daily lives. But the real question is, are we really ready to let go of the steering wheel? It's a question only time will answer. For now, buckle up, because whether you're behind the wheel or not, the coming war over self-driving cars is going to be a wild ride.